Welcome to VSB News Online for Wednesday, June 17th. I'm Charles Webb. An unidentified female was taken to King Edward Hospital this afternoon with unspecified, apparently non-life-threatening injuries after an unoccupied public transportation bus rolled back and smashed into the Russell Eve building across from the bus terminal. Police media relations spokesman Dwayne Keynes was on the scene and provides this report.
At approximately 1:33, police responded to a report of an incident that took place at the bus terminal. Now it appears that an unoccupied bus rolled back into the Geraldine building and specifically careened into a business. Now that was the Le Chic Hair Salon. There was one lady that was in the way. Now she got superficial injuries. As a matter of caution, she was taken to the hospital and her injuries are not appeared to be life-threatening. Now on scene we have police, people from the Bermuda Police Service, we have representatives from the actual building and also officials from the PTB. Of course, an investigation into this collision is now underway.
Only hours after announcing the death of an 81-year-old Leon Smith, who had been in intensive care with critical head injuries since he collided with a truck at the junction of Cavendish Road and Lane Hill on June the 1st, the police are reporting another serious accident in which a visitor has sustained serious head injuries and have been transferred to the intensive care unit at the King Edward Hospital. This latest accident took place on Mangrove Bay around 12 p.m. today. The accounting firm of KPMG has come to the rescue of the Department of Immigration and offered to lend it a number of its graduate students to help put a dent in the backlog of status applications. Minister of Home Affairs, Senator Michael Fay, explains the gesture to the Senate this morning.
KPMG is helping us out at the moment at the Department of Immigration in respect to processing status applications under Section 22B. As you recall, we have had an issue with a significant backlog of applications where we've had now over 700 and we're just not able to process them as quickly as we would like. KPMG has offered their services pro bono. We're going to be getting 1,500 hours of time from them with Bermudian graduate students who are working with KPMG at the moment, and we'll be having them available to us from now until the end of August. So that's a significant help and will help our technical officers move these applications along much more swiftly. As you can imagine, the frustration by individuals who have had their applications in since June of last year, most of which have yet to receive a decision. So I hasten to add the help, those providing the assistance will not be making the decisions, but rather will be assisting processing applications, getting further information, giving recommendations as to process, and the technical officers of the department will make those recommendations to me in the usual way.
What an extraordinary offer.
It is, and I think it's when you form relationships over a period of time with the business sector. Obviously, they have had a number of items arise that are helpful for them, and this is a way that they can help the government achieve their goals as well.
And it's going to save money too, I guess.
Well, the beauty of this is it's of no cost to the government. It's totally pro bono for those 1,500 hours, which obviously, as you know, government is stretched at the moment in terms of our budgetary constraints.
Would you like other bodies to think of how they could help the government in this way?
Well, it's certainly something that I'm very keen on. I know other ministers are as well. There's a vast pool of expertise out there of young Bermudians who are international business who may wish to get an understanding of what government is. Now, having said that, we have our summer employment program underway, where we have over 100 students participating in that program and starting over the period of the summer. So we're doing our bit, but it's nice if when international business does reach out and give us a hand as well.
The controversial law reform bills were not debated in the Senate today, nor were the equally contentious health insurance increases. The reason appeared to center around the absence of government Senator Lynn Woolridge, which would have left Senate Leader Michael Fay with the very real risk of being defeated in a vote in which the independent senators would have been an unknown factor until they had spoken. The items have been put over until next Wednesday, and as a consequence, the sitting of the Senate lasted under 3/4 of an hour. 50 years ago, the U.S. Navy began experiments off Bermuda testing the mixture of gases needed to enable man to dive to 200 feet and remain there for weeks if necessary. The dangerous work carried out in a rudimentary underwater home lab called Sea Lab 1 revolutionized the technology used today on oil rig construction. On Thursday night at the BUEI, journalist Ben Halworth will talk about Bermuda's crucial role in the largely forgotten program.
Some may remember Argus Island, as I guess you do, the old facility, Navy platform that was about 25 miles off the coast here. So that gave them another little foothold out in the ocean where they could tow Sea Lab, put it on the bottom at nearly 200 feet, which had been the depth they'd been experimenting with back in the laboratory, and see if they could do it, see if they could keep these guys safe and healthy in the lab. And the key to the lab was that the divers live under the same pressure as the water pressure outside, so they can't breathe ordinary air. They've got to breathe special gas mixture. Air, as some people may know, becomes toxic for various reasons under pressure. They're in a lab of a kind that's never been built before. They're 25 miles out at sea. They're saturated divers, which means that surfacing is not an option for them. They would kill themselves if they surfaced. That's right. So they really might as well be in orbit for all practical purposes. In fact, being in orbit might be a bit more comfortable in some respects. And here in Bermuda, actually, speaking of orbit, the astronaut Scott Carpenter got involved with the Sea Lab program. He had by then had been a couple of years since he did his orbital space flight as part of the original Mercury 7, and he was kind of looking for something else to do, and caught wind of the Sea Lab program and thought, oh, that sounds like the next big thing. So he got involved. He was here in Bermuda and was going to be one of the original aquanauts, as they called them, in the Bermuda experiment in Sea Lab 1, but he had a little accident on a motorbike here, right. Which, having been in Bermuda for a bit now, I can sort of see how that might happen, even to an astronaut. So he unfortunately was in the hospital instead of in Sea Lab 1, which might have actually helped bring a little bit more attention to the program at that moment, which was sort of an ulterior motive for having him be involved.
Now, they had to dive physically down there, didn't they?
Well, they could dive physically down there, but what they were also experimenting with was a prototype sort of pressurized elevator that would not only, think of sort of oversized oil drum or oversized soda can that would fit, just squeeze 4 guys in there, so that they could be delivered from the surface to close to the area of Sea Lab, and then make a free swim from out of their pressurized capsule, where the water would now stop at the doorstep because it's at the ambient pressure of the water. And that's the same as the Sea Lab concept. That was the whole key, is that if we can keep these guys safe, breathing the kind of gases they have to breathe in, and keeping the environment healthy at a pressure equal to that of, say, 200 feet, the experimental depth, then we can have an open hatch in the floor where the water will stop at the doorstep, so to speak, and then you have the key Sea Lab feature, which is that you can come and go from this vessel whenever you want to, and that, the vision was that would give us unprecedented access to the seabed.
We'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Treasures one might not see unless visiting the Louvre in Paris are on display at the Bermuda National Gallery for the next 3 weeks. They are Sèvres porcelain from the John Cox collection. Gallery director Lisa Howie talks about this rare opportunity to view treasures from a private collection.
I think it's an important opportunity to get into and sort of not just inside the head of perhaps a local private collector, but get an opportunity to see works of art that are very much in a private context, a private setting. It's a really wonderful opportunity to appreciate works that pretty much one might only find in the Louvre in France. And even then, as I was telling you, at a distance, we get to get really close and personal to these works, thanks to John Cox's private loan for these 3 weeks. And so it's important for the very reasons of the work itself, having such a lovely historical value. Gives us a chance to appreciate artwork that we wouldn't otherwise get a chance to see or have to go travel to. And also the closeness of it, you know, that we get to learn them about the stories and really appreciate them because we can see them so vividly. The work that's on display behind us at the moment was actually a replica that was found online to provide an historical context for how these beautiful pieces of porcelain might have been situated in France in, say, a castle-type environment in the 1700s.
Now, I would say John Cox was standing. I'm sure an owner was quite apprehensive, would he be, about learning his valuables like this?
I think there's a level of trust that comes with museumship. The Bermuda National Gallery does always attend to a high level of museumship. It isn't just that we're standardized by the Bermuda National Standards Committee, but we do also follow the highest level of museumship in terms of care and protection, climate control, and then also the didactics, actually having a compelling educational component that goes with it.
So the private collection is only for 3 weeks. Why so short?
Well, this is also the thing for a private collector. He doesn't want to part with his beautiful objects for very long. The fact that we get them for 3 weeks, I think, is a great opportunity.
The fact that Bermuda was represented at a CARICOM security meeting in the past week by its Home Affairs Minister, Michael Fay, but only in the role of observer, seemed to upset opposition senators when they heard about it today. But Minister Fay thought it had been a useful experience.
I brought to the attention of Senate that I attended on behalf of the Premier, the Honourable Michael Dunkley, who was obviously caught up in the House of Assembly on the 5th of June in Nassau, Bahamas, for a high-level security dialogue meeting with CARICOM countries and the United States and Canada. Bermuda is an associate member of CARICOM, so we simply attended as an observer, and attended the interim luncheon and the reception afterwards. And I was asked in the Senate after a substantial statement, what is it that Bermuda actually benefits from these types of events? These are the types of events that you make contacts and you renew relationships you have with other jurisdictions. The fact that you're in attendance, you can continue to ask for support and ideas if you need it, and indeed share information, which is where you can get new and fresh ideas from. What is a comfort, I suppose, to Bermuda, and is something I'm more than happy to share, is when you do compare Bermuda to our cousins to the south, what better position we're in than they are in respect of our security, in respect of our immigration, in respect of our crime, our unemployment. Are all far better position than our neighbors to the south overall. When you're looking at high homicide rates in some of the larger island nations, and the problems they have with gun running essentially out of the United States and other Central American countries, we fortunately don't fit into that category. Having said that, I will tell you that there was praise for Bermuda's Witness Protection Program, and there's praise for Trinidad and Tobago's Witness Protection Program, and there was a hope from those in attendance that jurisdictions would be able to emulate the programs that we have. So you share information, it works out better for all.
Bermuda Zoological Society Education Officer Jamie Bacon is looking forward to opening of Trunk Island as a living classroom for up to 3,000 students a year. It will be her first task, and that of her small team, to ensure that the island schools embrace the exciting new concept.
We've already experienced our middle school camps out here last summer for the first time. They actually used Hannah and Patty's basement, so now we have the cottage. And our middle school camps, we have Aqua Explore, and they are a week-long camp. They will do a lot of marine biology, they will do monitoring, they are learning how to assess the marine habitat around Trunk Island, how to build a database. That's something that we can add on to year after year. And then they will start learning about the restoration ecology. So eventually what we will set up here are permanent quadrats, which will look at what species are coming to the island, what's being the new introductions or the new invasives. And between the camps and our classes, they'll be able to follow this year after year and look at how, almost a replication of how Bermuda was colonized, but more how this little island was colonized. So we have 4 Aqua Explorer camps, and then for the first time we will have a M3/S1 residential camp later on this summer where they will actually live out here for 4 nights. And that should be tremendous. That they will have a wonderful time, and they will be involved with the conservation research here as well as with Department of Conservation Services. So come the fall, I know for the October professional development workshops for the teachers, we will give for both the primary and for the middle and senior schools workshops on how Trunk Island can be used to enhance their curriculum. So we will talk about our classes on anything from habitats and adaptations to food chains to how local animals are adapted to their habitats. So this is a thread that goes throughout, starting from about primary 4 all the way up through senior school. So we will design the classes to bring the kids out here. We can use the cottage as a classroom, and then we can do the hands-on work right here.
Home Affairs Minister Senator Michael Fay is at pains to explain that while commercial immigration is something being considered by the government as a way of attracting investment and boosting jobs, as is done in a number of other countries, no decision has yet been made.
I think that the question was somewhat flawed. And as I had said before, I'm surprised that number wasn't higher against the program, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about what the government is looking at. And I hasten to add, we have made no decisions of any kind about any form of commercial immigration program. Rather, we've continued to do policy work and look at other jurisdictions. It's an ongoing process, and if the government decides it's a route that we wish to pursue, then we'll share that information with the public.
No, this is not new, because we have heard you mention that one of the ideas, the options, was to encourage people with investment here in Bermuda, providing they got jobs going.
Correct. There's a number of models that are out there right now in other jurisdictions. Obviously, the United States has many models about essentially what is commercial immigration, and Canada, and many other smaller island jurisdictions. I think that we would not simply be looking at a route of you make a donation, you get citizenship. That's certainly not what our view is at all. More to the point, we are unable to give passports unless one is naturalized, and there's obviously all kinds of things around that, and status obviously is not open either. So I think a model that if we were going down that route that is being investigated more fully is, depending on the type of investment you make, the number of jobs you provide, would you be able to give a permanent residency certificate to someone? And that may be of assistance. But again, it's a massive market out there of people who wish to participate and get other options for themselves, and at the same time Bermuda could benefit.
And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
The Bermuda Olympic Association officially announced the names of the athletes who will represent Bermuda at the Pan American Games, which are being held from July 10th through to July 26th in Toronto, Canada. 17 athletes, which includes 1 provisional, have been selected in 7 different sports. In athletics, Aaron Evans, middle distance runner; sprinter Trey Houston; middle distance runner Lamont Marshall; long jumper Tyrone Smith; Cheyenne Smith, the heptathlete; middle distance runner Shaquille Deal; and the provisional sprinter Sherry Morgan. In cycling, it's Zunique Williams and Dominique Mayo. Equestrian will feature Virginia McKee. In dressage, Patrick Nesbitt and Jillian Teixeira in show jumping. Sydney Mason will represent Bermuda in gymnastics, while in sailing, we'll see Cameron Pimentel and Cecilia Woolman. Swimming will feature Lisa Blackburn and Julian Fletcher, while Flora Duffy will compete in the triathlon. The Bermuda Cricket Board and Shivers Regal announced the Sportsperson of the Week. Making today's announcement was Neil Spate, the CEO of the Bermuda Cricket Board.
Welcome here to the beautiful wine cellar of Gosling's on Dundonald Street. We're here to present the Shivers Sportsman of the Week for Week 2 of the 2015 season. I'm very pleased to announce the winner this week is Mike Starvel from Warwick. Mike is the under-8 coach for their youth program. And over the past few weeks, unfortunately their under-11 coach had an ACL injury, and Mike stepped in to cover that. Additionally, he's been serving as team manager of their senior team, so the coach and the players can focus on their game. So for his commitment to cricket and selfless dedication, the winner is Mike Starvel.
Congratulations, Michael. From behalf of Goslings, we would like to present you the Shivers 18 year and to continue to live with chivalry.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yes, I would like to also thank the Bermuda Cricket Board and Goslings for awarding me with this. And Warwick is a club that's known for, promoting good sportsmanship, and that is something that the youngsters, once they leave the field, they can take that into the community and become good corporate citizens. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Staying with cricket news, the Premier and First Division matches for the Bermuda Cricket Board took center stage over the weekend, and we now take a look at the top performers in the batting department. Makai Young from Western Stars had the best knock of the weekend, scoring 82 against Somerset Bridge in their First Division match. Gennaro Tucker scored 80 not out for Southampton Rangers against Baileys Bay, and Donny Charles from Somerset Bridge scored 79 in the game against Western Stars. Cameron Jeffers from Warwick Workmen's returned the best bowling figures of the weekend. He bowled 8 overs, he had 1 maiden. He took 6 wickets for 30 runs against PHC. While figures of 10 overs, 1 maiden, 5 for 48 saw Kevon Fubler, representing Willicott, record the second best figures of the weekend against the Somerset Cricket Club. Brian Hall from Western Stars had the third best figures of the weekend. He bowled 10 overs, he had 6 maidens. He took 3 wickets for 9 runs. The Bermuda Bowl Hockey Association announced the final roster and staff for the upcoming World Championships, which are set to get underway in Switzerland. The World Championships is held biannually and is the sport's foremost tournament. In 2013, Team Bermuda won the B Pool gold medal in a shootout against Italy. This year, Team Bermuda will be playing in Pool A against the best teams in the world. Bermuda will open the tournament this coming Friday, June 19th, against the host nation, Switzerland. The Bermuda Gymnastics Association's team took part in the final home meet of the season, where in the copper level, the winner was Bailey Boyd with 38.00. Second place went to Bethany Coos with 37.20, and third was Alatir with a score of 36.45. In the bronze level, the winner was Maya Farbett Jacobs with a score of 35.15, with Dyer Simons finishing second with a score of 35.10, and Holly Wakely finished third with a score of 34.90. In the silver level, the winner was Kinnaid Doling with a score of 34.80. Trinity Wilson finished second with a score of 34.10, and Maya Malpas finished third with a score of 32.50. Gianna Webb won the gold level division with a score of 32.10. In the platinum level, the winner was declared as Sydney Mason with a score of 36.70. Second place went to Zente Dill with a score of 36.00, and third went to Tabitha Hoffines with a score of 35.70. This sports broadcast was brought to you by WOW, who's celebrating 10 years of being a reliable alternative. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Thursday, June 18th, there will be sunny periods with an early morning chance of thunder and 1 or 2 showers. Winds will be westerly light to moderate, very northwesterly and light in the morning. We're expecting a high near 81 and a low near 74. This weather forecast is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thank you for watching VSB News Online for Wednesday, June 17th. I'm Charles Webb.